Hello everybody, it's me, Mrs. Walsh from Livingston Road Primary Federation in Poole. And today I'm here to continue with our art sessions. So today is session number 3. Now, if you've already joined me before, in session number 1, we experimented with lots of lines, different types of lines. And in session 2, we used line to add shade and value to drawings. And we made some spheres using some different techniques of hatching. Now, today we're going to focus on colour. And by the end of our 5 sessions, we're going to put together all the skills that we've learned about line and all the skills that we've learned about colour to create something. Okay, now today, our session, you're going to need, now this is where I share my screen again. Let's see if I'm getting a little bit quicker at doing this. Here we go. From the beginning. Oh, that's not the beginning, is it? That's the let's have a go part. Let's go from there, see if that works. There we go, that's better, isn't it? So we're learning about colour in art. Now, before we've only been using black and white or pencil and white. So today we're going to add a little bit more to the list that you're going to need. So today you're going to need some paper, as always, some scrap paper to do some experimenting on, but also some nice plain paper. Doesn't matter what colour it is really, although white would be good to show up our colours to the best that they can be. So colouring pencils, maybe a pencil sharpener in case that your pencils break, and of course your creativity. So again, your imagination, your resilience. Does it matter if we make a mistake? No. It's about trying, isn't it? Mistakes are proof that you are trying. So are you ready to get started? Now, for our warm-up game, I've got an interesting warm-up game for you today. Now, for this, it says race to a colour. Now, if you are in your home or another setting, you're probably inside if you're on a computer, don't go racing around where it's dangerous. And please don't go touching anything that you're not usually allowed to touch, okay? Because everyone has different rules, don't they, in their house. So please obey your grown-ups rules that you are with at the moment. So, but back to the fun. So we're going to race to a colour. So I'm going to give you a colour and you are going to race to that colour. Just put your finger on it and then come back to me. Okay, are you ready? So your first colour is grey. Off you go. Can you find something grey? Maybe it's a teddy. Maybe it's the pencil that you had ready for the session. Maybe it's my kitchen cabinets are grey. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you back? Did you find something? Brilliant. I found my sofa. There you go. I'm touching my sofa. Is grey. Right, your next colour. Your next colour is going to be, I think you should go for orange. Off you go. Maybe it's a carrot or orange in a fruit bowl. Have you found something? Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And are you back? Did you find something? I'm going to pick, oh look, I've got some orange flowers on my shirt here that I'm touching. There we go. Right, your next colour. I think that you should go and find something that is green. Off you go. Perhaps a plant in your house. Maybe you've got green on your duvet cover, or there's a cushion around you that's green. Flowers. The petals of the flower maybe. Or the leaves. You don't really get, oh, I guess you do get green petals. Anyway, right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you back? What did you find that was green? Oh, your colouring pencil that you had ready. That's a good idea. I've got a green paint swatch here that I'm touching. Right, so now you're warmed up. That was a bit of a physical warm-up today. Let's get ready with our lesson then. So let's have a look at our thinking time. So what we're thinking about today is colour. So we're going to have a look at some artists' work to see how they have put colour in and how they've used it. Okay, now the first one we're going to look at is a very famous painting. And we've already seen one of his pictures last week. The portrait that we looked at was done by Vincent van Gogh, and this is Vincent van Gogh as well. It's called Starry Night, very famous painting. You may have seen it before at school. Now, what's the dominant colour? What's the main colour that you can see in this picture? I hear you shouting blue. Yes, there's lots and lots of blue. Is it the same blue in the colour? In the painting, sorry. Is it the same blue there? No, you're right. So you'll notice that we've got quite a lot of dark blue tones in the corner, on the mountains or hills in the distance. And then we've got very light blue tones. Almost, they look like waves in the sky, don't they? Now, how has Van Gogh added colour to his painting? What kind of technique do you think he's used? Yeah, he's definitely mixed a lot of colours, hasn't he? So he's had a colour palette there and been adding white and black to his colours to make darker blues and light blues. Has he blended them together to just give us one blue or patches of colour? No, he hasn't, has he? He's done lines of different colours that are building up to create this lovely texture. So if you look closely, there's individual strokes, you can see them, of the colours, but they build up to create the lovely texture of the night sky. And he's done the same thing in the yellow around the moon here. Can you see? There. Beautiful. It'd be good to have a go at that, wouldn't it, if you've got some paint at home? Now our next one, you will have seen this before in one of our other sessions. We're back to the Mondrian painting. Now, this Mondrian painting we looked at because it had really bold, straight lines, didn't it? Now we're looking at how he's used colour. So how has Mondrian used colour differently to Vincent van Gogh? Yes, you're right. He's used just blocks of colour, hasn't he? Big, bright blocks of colour to colour in the shapes that he's made with his straight lines. So not much shading, no mixing, just one bold block of colour there. Be good to have a go at that one, wouldn't it? That would be a good one to do on the computer. And then our last picture is by Claude Monet. It's called The Water Lily Pond. Now I find this picture very relaxing when I look at it. How do you feel when you look at this picture? Some of you feel the same. Some of you feel different. That's fine. That's good. We all feel different when we look at things, and especially with art, everybody gets something different out of it when they look at a picture. Now let's have a look at how Monet has used colour here. How is it similar to the one that we looked at by Vincent van Gogh? Yes, Monet has used lots of shades of colour. What's the dominant colour that you can see in this picture? Yes, I can see a lot of greens too. Some of them very dark foresty greens, and some of them almost very yellowy greens down here when the sunlight is catching these plants here. Now, has Monet used the same technique as Van Gogh? Has he used strokes, quite bold strokes of colour? No, it's not quite the same, is it? This one is a lot softer, a lot more blended, and there's a lot more fine detail. Now, I would love to see this painting in real life where I could get right up close and really, really see how he's applied the paint onto his picture. But it really creates this kind of soft wash of colour. Well, not really a wash actually, but a softness to his colour where he's got very, very fine detail there. But all of those artists have used colour very, very differently. And we're going to have an experiment with colour today. Now, let's have a look. What you need is your scrap piece of paper. Have you got it? Brilliant. And you need your writing pencil, or if you've got one, a sketching pencil. So let's come out of this and stop the share. There we go. Now, because I'm using pencil, it may not show up quite as well on the big board. So I'm just going to move this board out of the way and I'm going to turn. Oh, there's my squeaky computer again. There we go. Sorry, I had to have a bit of a rearrange there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil and we're going to experiment with colour. Let me turn that round. Am I going a bit blurry there? No? Right then. So I'm going to use just a normal pencil. I've got a normal writing pencil that my son uses for doing his drawing, but I've also got a sketching pencil that my daughter uses because she quite likes drawing. And they are very different. Now, on the side of your pencils, you'll see some letters and some numbers. And where they become different tells you how hard or how soft your pencil is. And when you are drawing with your pencils, sometimes you will notice that some of them might be harder and some of them might be softer. And artists use different types of pencils to create different things in their sketches and their drawings. So I would like you to take your pencil now and to experiment. I want you to see what is the lightest colour that you can make with your pencil. So have a go. Now, if I'm creating a light colour, how do you think I'm going to make it on the paper? Do you think I'm going to press really hard? Or do you think I'm going to go really softly or very lightly? I agree. I think I'm going to go very lightly. So let me see. You have a go too on your paper. And I want you to see what's the lightest colour you can make. Oh, it's quite tricky actually. And I'm sure, look, I'm obviously doing a good job because you can hardly see that, can you? So I've got better. I started off darker and I've actually managed to make it even lighter. So keep trying and see if you can make a really, really light grey. Maybe even hold your pencil on the side and use the side of the, oh dear, that was very dark, you see. I need to be a lot softer, don't I? So keep having a go and see whether you can make a very, very light grey. What's the lightest colour you can make? Good job. Well done, trying really hard. And stop. Right, looking at your patch or you're experimenting, can you put your finger on the lightest bit that you've made? So I think my lightest bit is right here because I went dark, then I went light, then I went dark. So I've got my lightest bit there. Now, we're going to change now. We're going to do, can you make the darkest grey? Now for this, what do you think we're going to need to do? Yes, press really, really hard. Are you ready? I'm going to do it over here. Oh, I'm going to put that there. Oh, I need to be careful not to break my pencil though. Oh, look, it's very different. Keep going. Oh, look, mine looks darker at the top. Maybe I should try pressing a little harder. There we go. How does yours look? Have you done a really, really dark grey? Well done. So we pressed really lightly. So this is very light pressure when we're drawing, very soft, and this is very hard pressure when we're drawing. Now I wonder, can you make a grey that is somewhere in between the light and the dark? So between the lightest colour and the darkest colour. Let's see. So not as dark as this, but not as light as that, somewhere in the middle. I'm going to do it underneath and then I can kind of look at the two above. So you ready? You have a go on your scrap piece of paper with your pencil. So I'm kind of adjusting my pressure as I'm watching my drawing. Is that what you're doing as well? I'm just going to put a little box around my light so you can see where it is. There you go. So that's my light. That's my darkest. This is my one in between. How are you doing? Can you, once you've found the colour, can you try and keep that pressure the same so you get a nice even colour? Well done. Right, now what I want you to do now is I want you to pause the video and I want you to have a little experiment on your scrap piece of paper, and I want you to see how many greys can you make with just one pencil. Now I'm going to pause my recording and I'm going to have a little go, and then we'll get back together and we'll see how many we've got. Right then, so I hope you've had a bit of time to experiment with how many greys you can make with your pencils. So I wonder how many you've managed to make. Wow, that's amazing. Gosh, that's a lot of greys. Well done. Right, let's see how many I've made. So these were my lightest and my darkest, so I'm still going to count those. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did you make, I bet you made more than that, didn't you? I wonder whether it would be different if I had a different type of pencil, whether I would be able to make more shades or not. Right then, let's see if we can use what you've learned to create something. Now, I went to a DIY store, you know, a store where they sell lots of paint. And I bought some swatches. So these are the testers that you get when you want to paint your house and you don't know what colour. So you go and get these and then you stick them up in your room and find out what colours you like. Now I wonder, can we order these greys at the top from lightest to darkest? So I'm going to give them all a number. Oh, actually, let's number them from here if it goes that way for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That does look a bit wonky, isn't it? It's the way the camera's working, but I'm sure you can tell what I mean. Right then, so which one do you think is the lightest? Tell me just stop when I get there. Oh, I didn't hear you. Oh, stop, you said stop there. Well done. So that's the lightest. Okay, I wonder whether you can tell me which is the darkest. Tell me to stop when I get to the darkest. Oh, I can hear some people saying stop. Some people saying stop here as well. Have a look at these two. Which one do you think is the darkest? Yes, this one. It's almost black, isn't it? There we go. Right then, so which one do you think would come? Oh, I've just seen that you can't see that one there. Let me put it there. There we go. That works. So which one do you think would come after this shade of grey? Do you think this one? Or do you think this one? Do you think number 4 or number 1? Number 1. Should we try it? There we go. Do you think that's definitely darker, isn't it? We can see the difference. So which one do you think comes next after this? Number 4 or number 2? Number 4. Well done. Here we go. And that leaves us with number 2. Should we see if it fits in here? It's the right shade. Yes, well done. So as you can see from our paint samples, they go from lightest to darkest, but they're all shades of grey there. Now, what I want you to do is see if you can create a row of greys with your pencil that range from lightest to darkest. Now, you've had a little bit of a practice, so I'm hoping that that will have helped you. So are you going to press really hard for your lightest one? How is your pressure going to be? Yes, nice and light, very light pressure there. And then you're going to get harder and harder and harder till you get to your darkest grey. Pause the video and have a go at that. Hello everyone. Have you had a go at making your paint samples of grey using your writing pencil or drawing pencil? Now I had a go here. Here is my lightest colour, and then getting darker and darker and darker until I got to my darkest one where I had to press really hard, so hard I actually broke my pencil. Now, you'll notice I've given them all names. I don't know whether you can see them because they look a bit funny in the screen, so they may have turned themselves around. But when you go to the shop, all the paints have names, so you know which one you can get. I think it'd be a fun job to think up really nice names for beautiful colours. This one is called Silver Bonnet. And I decided that I would name my colours. So I looked at the colours and thought, oh, what do I know of in my community, in my world around me, that looks like these shades of colours? So I picked Misty Grey for my lightest one. I picked Puddle Grey for my next one, slightly darker. When it got darker, I thought it was quite silvery, a bit like a wolf. So I called it Wolf Grey. Then as it got darker, I thought it looked like a stormy sky. So I picked Storm Grey. And here it was very, very dark. So I thought the thunder might come. So I put Thunder Grey. Now, how about you name your greys? Have a think about the world around you and name some of the colours after some of the things that you've seen in your world or your environment. Now, if you've named them now, so hopefully you paused the video there, I wonder whether you could have a go maybe doing that with a colour. Now, you'll see here at the paint store, they also have colours in these shades. So here I picked lots and lots of pinks. So we've got a very, let me see, and turn it that way so you can see it. We range from a light pink there to a slightly darker pink. That one's called Spring Laughter. What a lovely name for that one. Which one do you think we're going to now? Say yes when we're ready. Oh, yes, there we go, well done. That one's called Pigtail, like a little piggy's tail. Which one do you think comes next? Because these are all a bit darker. This one? Well done, you're right. That is the next one. We've got two left. Let me move this one down. Which one do you think next? This one or this one? Are you shouting at me? Yes, this one, well done. That's the one. That one's called, oh, Princess Heartbreak. That's a little bit sad, isn't it? Heartbreak makes people sad. And then the last one there, a very, very dark pink, almost a red. Now, I got these in lots of colours. You can go to the DIY store and get these to make collages and things like that. They're very good for colour mixing practice and things like that. Now, I wonder, can you do the same thing that you did with the grey pencil, but with one of your colouring pencils now? So pause the video, see if you can make a colour chart like this using one of your colouring pencils. Pause the video and I'll be back with you in a minute. Hi there again. So how did it go making your paint chart with your colouring pencil? Was it easier than using your writing pencil, or was it harder? Wow, really? I did find it harder, I must admit. I think it's because I had so much practice using pencils. I've used a writing pencil a lot more for drawing than I have a colouring pencil. So I had to go back and make some of mine darker to create that pattern there. Now, did you name your colours? Did you think of some lovely names for your colours? Tell me some of the names that you used. Wow, they're amazing. Good thinking about the colours that you've seen in your environment that are the same as the colours you've made. I picked cornflower blue for this one because in my garden I get lots and lots of cornflowers, which are a really lovely blue colour. And here I put ice blue because I think that it looks very, very icy. I need to change this one though, because look, I've called them the same thing. I wonder whether you could think of a name for this one. It's a darker blue, one in the middle. Maybe I'll leave that with you. You can tell me next time. Okay, it's been really, really lovely looking at colours and shade and value with you. And we're going to use these skills in our next session when I see you again. Thank you. Take care.